Welcome to TV3's Europe Debate. We invited all the main party leaders this evening, but Andy Kennedy, the Taoiseach leader, Fine Gael, was unhappy with the proposed format. Gerry Adams, President Sinn Féin, declined. And I understand Eamon Gilmore-Taoiseach, leader of the Labour Party, was unavailable.
A no vote would be a massive rejection of these dreadful austerity policies, a rejection of further burdens on ordinary people like home and water taxes, and a demand for a radical change to end austerity and to instead have major public investment to create jobs and a future for our people. And I believe that it would amount also to a demand for a financial system that, instead of serving the private profits of bondholders and billionaire bankers, it would serve ordinary people and society in public ownership and democratic control.
Well, this is a treaty which will be good for Ireland. It will assist in helping us to rebuild an economy and rebuild a country, which is what's underway at the moment. This will provide the stability and the certainty to help us do that. This treaty isn't going to solve all of Ireland's problems, not by a long shot. But what it will do is two things. First of all, it will commit Ireland and another 25 member states in the European Union to responsible budgeting in the future to ensure that we don't get into the kind of mess that we're in at the moment again.
We can't afford the almost $6 billion in additional cuts that this would entail from 2015 onwards. We can't afford to persist with the strategy that has the domestic economy in a heap, that has almost 500,000 people out of work. We can't afford to tie the hands of current government or indeed future government in terms of taking decisions and making investments that are for the benefit of the economy here in this state, and more importantly for the citizens in this state.
Is to ensure that we have secure access to cheaper funding after 2013, in the years after 2013. In 2014, for example, we will need to borrow about 18 billion plus, about 10 billion for public services, and the deficit will be there then, and 8 billion to repay a maturing loan. Now, we need that money. And the fundamental question is, where are we going to get that money in 2014? Now, we either get it from the markets, or we get it from the European Stability Mechanism Fund, which will be, the doors of which will be open to us if we pass this treaty.
And that we also have access to a stability fund at low interest rates, which we may or may not need at some stage in the future. Our prediction is that we probably won't need it, but it's certainly useful to have it there in the background.
There's evidence that the austerity strategy hasn't worked. But let me say this, because I think it's important that people understand. The ESM, as we speak this evening, this emergency fund is not yet established. That's the fact. In order for that to be established with the firm legal footing, the government, this state, has to give it its approval.
Minister Coveney has the nerve to say that a no vote would throw us into the dark. Europe economically, Minister, is in the dark. And 166 billion more in austerity, which would be the implications Europe-wide of this treaty, will create further devastating crisis.
The budget will have to be worse next year if we make a decision that results in it making it more difficult to get growth into the Irish economy, to create jobs and so on.
Oh my goodness. Do my ears deceive me.
The people
We'll do on this debate on the Tonight programme starting at 11 o'clock. We hope you can join us then, and see you at that time. Bye-bye.